Hi there, Tom Farrell again here for video number 4, Buying a Franchise. Now, as you can see on the screen in front of you, I've got something I pulled up on the web, which is called Compare Franchise Opportunities. Figured that pretty descriptive, and I chose Pennsylvania because that's where I live. And I also know from experience, from talking to lots of franchisees and franchisors, in other words, the people that own them as well as the people that give them, that if you read up on a franchise, you want to spend at least $100,000 because that's otherwise you're shooting yourself in the foot, basically. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. So I use that as the filter. If you notice at the top, you've got to have at least $100,000 of investment to be able to get in this franchise. So these are the ones that are available right now in Pennsylvania, and we'll go through this list and talk about it. But I want to give you some background information first on franchises. And many people think that a franchise will give them the benefit of a name brand store or restaurant and therefore a built-in market and a more secure future for them to own their own business. And that problem, that answer rather was probably true 20 or 30 years ago, but nowadays to get a decent franchise, first off you have to have liquid assets in excess of $100,000. Now when I say liquid, I mean liquid. I mean it can't be in your house. It can't be unless you have a credit line that you can tap into and write a check right out of that. It's got to be liquid. It cannot be in hard assets. And then on top of that, you've got to have a net worth that's way above that. So nowadays, to get a decent franchise, you've got to spend at least $100,000, if not close to $1 million or several $1 million. And then there are all kinds of other costs that you might not have been taken into consideration. Yes, you can buy franchises that cost less, but your risks go way up because they don't have the name recognition of the big boys out there. I mean, look at some of these names on your screen here, and we're just looking at the first four, actually. It comes down to competition and giving yourself the best possible advantage. And even with that, there's no guarantee of your success. There are a lot of variables involved with a franchise. People think, quote unquote, that it's a sure bet when nothing could be further from the truth. And I'm not bashing franchises. Again, I just want you to have your eyes wide open and understand what you're getting yourself into. You also have to remember, in case no one's told you, that you're going to be working 80 to 100 hours per week and hiring teenagers who will not show up, who will quit unannounced, who will need to be fired, who will show up drunk, who will show up high, or both, etc., etc. There will be others too who are just grateful to have a job. In this economy, more and more college graduates are actually working in franchises because they can't find a job in their field, and having a minimum hour job is better than nothing at all. So you'll see these people too if you look for them. Bottom line is you'll be in an endless cycle of hiring and firing, and that's just the nature of owning any franchise. Now, the average rule of thumb with franchises is you can expect to pay 5 times what your franchise costs in relation to what you will earn from your franchise. I'll repeat that. Average rule of thumb with franchises is you can expect to pay 5 times what your franchise costs in relation to what you'll actually earn per year from your franchise. So, to put that in dollars and cents, if you pay $100,000 for your franchise, you can expect to earn $20,000 per year for yourself after all your expenses. $500,000 would net you $100,000 per year. $1 million would net you $200,000. Sounds great, doesn't it? It can be, but you need to be fully aware of all the costs involved. Your income is also very dependent on how good your location is and other factors. Remember also the majority of upfront costs must be liquid, in other words, cash in your bank, and the rest can be tied up in the collateral of your home or other assets that you sign over to the franchisor until your debt is paid. Even then, There are monthly and yearly ongoing costs. Again, all of these are well-known names if you look at this list in front of you. If you go with a less expensive franchise, in other words, a franchise that is not a household name, your chances of succeeding go way down. You've got to give yourself every chance to succeed, which means buying a franchise that is known to the masses. Even then, as I said, there's no guarantee. And plan on working 80 to 100 hours per week. Even with a name brand franchise, there's no guarantee, as I've said several times, because a friend of mine sunk $300,000 into a, you can see on your screen, Subway franchise. Not $172,000, which they say is the average startup investment. He actually spent $300,000 only to lose it all and to go bankrupt. He had no idea what he was doing. He had been in business before, but never owned a franchise. And he had never worked with a bunch of teenagers. And he had never owned a sandwich shop. He just thought it'd be a great idea. And it blew up in his face. The location he found out wasn't the best. He ended up losing $300,000 and filing for bankruptcy. So does everyone that buys a Subway franchise do that? Of course not. But he did. So it's not automatic is what I'm trying to say. There's lots of risks, namely your family's future, which is at stake. And this is why today the majority of franchises are owned by corporations, not individuals. And if you don't believe me, the next time you go to your local Burger King or whatever other fast food place you like to go to, use your credit or debit card for the purchase. And when the bank statement comes in or the credit card statement comes in, look at the merchant name. And I bet you dollars to donuts, no pun intended, that it's a corporate name. A corporation is the one that owns that franchise. Because unfortunately, the regular mom and pop franchises that we all knew about and people bought in the 50s and 60s have priced themselves out of existence, and now they're way beyond the affordability of the average person, and they're owned by corporations. So as you can see on this list here, you've got not only the franchise fee for like a McDonald's, a Subway, we'll go down to Dunkin' Donuts here, $60,000. You've got the average startup cost for Dunkin' Donuts at $992,000, just a little under $1 million. And then there's a royalty fee. Now a lot of people know, well, what's a royalty fee? Well, a royalty fee is an average of your total sales that you have to pay back to the franchise, or in this case Dunkin' Donuts, every single year. There's also built-in marketing costs for all of these franchises that you have to pay yearly and monthly, because you got to remember, you got to advertise, and if they have an ad going on TV, guess who's paying for that ad? Not Dunkin' Donuts out of the kindness of their heart, trust me. It's all the franchisees are paying the franchisor for that TV or radio advertising. So you can go down the list here and see Smash Burger. Now Smash Burger is a new hot burger chain that just opened up. Again, $500,000 up front, 5% royalty. Franchise fee is a one-time $40,000 for Smash Burger. Then you've got some other things, and again, Hand and Stone Massage Spa. I mean, I've never heard of that. Am I going to spend $400,000 on that? I don't know. It depends on your town. Baskin and Robbins, Johnny Rockets. A lot of these are restaurants, but there are other things too. Goddard Systems is an educational. That's like a school. It is a school basically. It's a private school, and you can see the startup investment there is $711,000. Batteries and Bulbs. That's another one. Never heard of that one. Cost Cutters, The Learning Experience, Honey Baked Ham, chocolate and ice cream. There's all kinds of things out there. Just the bottom line is you want to make sure whatever franchise you get that you've heard of it, that people in the surrounding area, that you're not the first one in the state to have yours. I mean, that can be a nice thing from an exclusivity standpoint. On the other hand, if no one's heard of you, they don't even know that it exists other places. So you really it's a balancing act to make sure that you get the right franchise for your money, the biggest bang for your buck. So that's it for franchises. As again, can it be a good investment? Absolutely. But buyers beware, and make sure that your eyes are wide open as to what you're getting yourself and your family into, because once you've spent your 6 figures, like my friend Sam did, it's water over the dam. and you got to just take it as it comes. And yes, it could be a huge success, and it also could go belly up. So that's it from this end. Do your due diligence. I hope this was helpful. I don't mean to be negative. I just want people to understand, the realities of life when it comes to owning your own business. And that's what I have found so much from my research. None of this is original. I mean, you can find this on the web. So do your due diligence. Happy shopping for a business or a job. And we'll see you on the last and final video, which will be in the next day or two. All right. Take care, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.